Good afternoon, people of the internet. My name is Owen. Welcome to Blurb, and today I am going to be telling you guys why I bought my Astra. So first of all, I just want to make clear I bought this car for £5,500. Yes, I bought a 14-plate Astra with 37,000 miles for little more than most middle-aged cars. What you got to remember is this car is 4.5 years old. It's low mileage and it's only seen one previous owner. So I looked upon this car and thought, well, yes, at the time I was going to go and get that GTC. I wonder what this one would be like. When I missed the GTC, I was gutted, but I needed a car nonetheless. The Vectra was on its way out, it was about to die, and I had to get rid of it. Funny enough, the Vectra has actually turned up back in Wrexham in Fly, where I actually got the gearbox done. So I had a chat with a guy who now owns it, and he says the heaters don't work anymore, the fan doesn't work anymore, one of the rear doors don't lock anymore, and with the weathers we've had recently, I don't think he had a good experience. In terms of what else tempted me to buy that car instead, I could have just walked away and tried to find another GTC. It was easy enough to do, there was loads on for sale, but they were in the 7 to 8 grand mark, which I just didn't have. I had a budget of £6,000. So I bought that one. I bought the Astra J for £5,500 with a 15-month warranty. That warranty is included for engine components like radiators, cams, VVT, any pulleys that go as well, anything mechanical, including the gearbox and the clutch, is done by that warranty. Everything else, like tyres, exhaust and lights and electrics and some other things, no, it doesn't cover for that. Now, what tempted me to go for the 1.6 engine? Yes, it would have had a lot of warranty, but why the 1.6? Especially knowing it's not a turbo, that's one less problem for me to worry about. Turbos end up going, sometimes they end up noisy, sometimes they even cause engine problems when you put on a comb filter. I don't need anything quick, I'll be straightly honest. I've heard many people saying having a turbo takes the fun out of a car, because yes, you can go quick easily, but there's nothing like working a car and wringing it by its neck just to get up to speed. It's more enjoyable that way. Plus, you get instant power and no turbo lag. Now, I find that's something that I might actually like, because I've driven the 1.4 turbo GTCs, the 1.6 turbo GTCs, and the diesels. And if I'm honest, the diesel was the quickest. The 1.4 turbo that I was going to go for didn't feel that much different, apart from a little bit more power when you get up to speed. But the 1.6 was nice, but the reliability issues with them, with the 1.6 turbos, is shocking. Now yes, I've had VVT before in the Vectra, and that car was ragged before I bought it. So I've got to take into consideration, yes, the VVT didn't work properly on the Vectra, but don't forget it was a 12-year-old car with low mileage, and was ragged. Plus that even had a 5-speed gearbox. My new Astra also comes with a 5-speed gearbox, but the gearbox is so much smoother, it's a lot nicer to drive. And that's another reason why I bought the car. It's a lot nicer to drive, and the miles per gallon is brilliant. I'm averaging about 30 to 38 miles per gallon, and more on that in the next video. One thing I like about my Astra as well, compared to, let's say, newer cars, is that it has a proper handbrake. The GTC I was going to go for didn't have a proper handbrake, which is one downside that if I did get the GTC, would be one thing I don't like, because my dad's insignia, he's not got a real handbrake, and to be honest, I find it annoying. One thing I do find annoying with the Astra, which I will mention now, is the fact that even though it's got a normal handbrake, it's still got hill start assist, and it does come on at sometimes the wrong times. i.e. when you're at a traffic light and you need to pull off and your car doesn't move. More on that in a different video as well, where I do my top 10 problems with my car. Now I've got to have a look and see how much my car is worth. I mentioned that loads of other GTCs are worth £7,000, £8,000, the lot, and I bought mine for £5,500. I looked on Auto Trader recently and I found out my car is actually worth between £5,000 and £7,000. Now there isn't a problem with my car, so why it wasn't priced between £6,500 and £7,000, I don't know. So that's another thing that I find quite good with my car, is I did get a bargain with that car. Practicality says that the car is actually pretty good. There's a lot of space in the car. The one thing that isn't very good for practicality is the rear seats. There isn't enough legroom or headroom really for adults on a long journey, but it just about passes. In terms of the boot space is amazing, and to be honest, I've never looked back on it. In terms of the engine and practicality, in terms of performance, if I was to put weight in the car, which I have done so far, I'd say it's pretty much on par with the Vectra, so I'm not losing out. 0 to 60 on the Astra is about the same as the Vectra also, and that's with the broken gearbox. What else do I like about the Astra J? Well, I don't like the pre-facelift Astras because I think they look too chubby, but the newer ones, the one that I've got, the facelift, actually looks alright. And to be fair, the colour that it's in, although I would have chosen red if I was able to buy it new, I still like that colour. That colour is quite a nice colour and it suits the car and I like it. Now also, it's an SRI Sport, which means I get the sports seats, the sports steering wheel, the sports suspension, and the fact that it is slightly lower, has alloy wheels from an SRI, which is very nice, and the fact the car is very comfortable around corners. Very comfortable around corners. I've took that car around some dangerous corners already that I misjudged, and not a problem. One of the reasons why I haven't made a video in such a long time is because I am dying. Not literally, but you get the gist. And then there's another thing, reliability. It's got a 5-speed gearbox, which is the ones that are not renowned to break. It's got the engine that is bulletproof. The 1.6 engine VVT is actually very, very bulletproof. I know that because there's a friend of mine who had an Astra that everything else was broken. He even blew the engine once before by overfilling it with oil, and if that car had MOT, it'd probably still run today. And also, you get Vauxhall's reliability. Yes, some of them end up going on fire. Yes, some of them blow up. Some of them don't work. Some of them die. But this one, because it's a newer car, it's allowing me to save money, and that's what I like with this car. It's saving me a hell of a lot of money, and it still makes me smile. It doesn't turn heads, obviously, because it is a common car. That's the only downside that I find with the car. It's too common. There's nothing really unique about it. However, I am going to do some things to the car in the future, fingers crossed, and I'm hopefully keeping it for 4 or 5 years, depending on how reliable it is and if I'm comfortable with it. So overall, I find the car is more of a bargain and a way of saving money for me, as well as getting my no claims down, which will benefit me in the future. So my next car is probably going to be a much better car, much more powerful car, because by then I would have much cheaper insurance than what I do now, and I would hopefully be in a better position in terms of buying a car with more money. Because don't forget, I'm paying on a loan for that car for 3 years. Now, of course, that means I don't need to keep the car for 3 years, because what I could technically do is swap it for another car as long as I have money on side. But I'd figure I'd be wasting money, so I might as well keep it for 3 years. If I need another car, or I want another car, I'll just get a cheap one on the side of it and have fun with that one. I'm already thinking so far in terms of future videos on getting maybe a 4x4 or a cheap runabout, just to have fun in and do road trips and anything, really. So guys, that's it for this video. I did say in my last video that I'd make a video like this where I would be talking about why I bought the Astra, and especially the 1.6 model. And I think I've made my point really clear. Now, like I mentioned earlier, there will be a video out soon about miles per gallon, so stay tuned for that. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ta-da!